The moment my sister leaned across the Christmas table, wineglass in hand, her smile sharp under the twinkle lights, something in me finally fractured. "Go on, Briar," she said, loud enough for the whole Mercer family. "If you're so brave, just leave. You wouldn't last a week without us." Tessa waited for me to fold. Instead, I reached for the keys beside my plate, house and car, and set them on the linen. The click was tiny, but it stopped the room. My father went still. My mother's lips parted, then closed. Her gaze begged me not to make a mess today. Snow drifted past the windows. I stood, walked past the tree glowing red and gold, and stepped into the night without my coat. Cold knifed through my dress. I took only my phone and the envelope my mother pressed into my palm 2 days before she died. "Not yet," she'd whispered. "You'll know when." I walked until the driveway lights disappeared, and my breath turned to ghosts. If I turned back, the old reflex would drag me to my chair and my roll. At the downtown park, I sat on a bench dusted with snow. My phone lit up again and again, calls stacking, texts piling, panic dressed up as authority. I didn't listen. The quiet felt almost gentle. Near midnight, a new text slid onto the screen from an unknown number. "I'm awake if you need somewhere." H.L. Harper Lane, my mother's attorney. At the will reading, she'd held my hand a beat too long and said, "Your mother trusted you." The envelope warmed in my pocket, suddenly heavy with timing. Tomorrow, I would go to Harper Lane's office. Tomorrow, I would open it. I woke in a motel room that smelled like bleach. My phone vibrated the instant I touched it. Missed calls from Dad, Tessa, and Celeste, my father's wife. My real mother, Rowan, was gone a year, but her envelope still sat in my pocket like a pulse. Dad's texts were blunt. "Where are you? We need access." Then, "The bank says you're the primary." I didn't play the voicemails. I knew the script. Blame, demand, then a fragile kind of pleading. They'd never learned how anything worked because I'd always made it work. Harper Lane's office was quiet, winter light on brick. She didn't waste time. "Rowan planned for this," she said. "Sit." She slid papers across the desk. My name on the house deed, my name on the trust, my name on the cabin on Glacier Road, clauses that shut everyone else out unless I consented. My mouth went dry. "So, it's mine?" "It's yours," Harper said. "And it's guarded. When they realize they'll come to you, not for love, for leverage." My hands shook as I opened Rowan's envelope. Lavender rose, soft as memory. Her note was short. "If you're reading this, you finally walked out. Don't let guilt drag you back. Love has limits. Choose yourself." When I stepped outside, the cold felt cleaner. Tessa found me on Main Street, stalking into the cafe like she owned the place. "Fix it," she snapped. "Dad can't pay anything." "I'm not fixing you," I said. "I'm finished." Her face flickered. Anger, then fear. They didn't miss me. They missed access. Before she could reload, I walked to the bus station and bought a ticket to Glacier Road. The bus climbed into the mountains until the town lights sank behind fir trees and snow. At the turnoff, the cabin on Glacier Road waited, dark, half buried. Rowan used to call it her quiet room. My key fit. Inside smelled of cedar. On the table sat a pine box tied with twine, and on top a note in her looping hand. "Briar, when they come for you, come here first." I opened the box. Loan papers, copies of my ID, emails with my name stamped on accounts I'd never touched. A flash drive labeled Kitchen Audio. I plugged it in and listened as Dad said, laughing, "She'll sign whatever," and Tessa replied, "She never reads anything." Then Rowan, steady, "I am building walls she can live behind." My hands stopped shaking because it finally made sense. At dawn, I called Harper. "Do not answer them," she said. "Bring everything in, today." They came anyway, headlights cutting the trees, fists on the door. Dad shouted my name like I was a deed. Tessa screamed that I was ruining them. I didn't open it. I called the sheriff. When the deputies arrived, the scene deflated. Dad's fury turned to excuses. Tessa's threats turned to silence. The officers walked them to the SUV. Tessa glanced back once, and for the first time she didn't dare me. At Harper's office, we filed a protective order and a fraud report. By afternoon, the bank confirmed it. Every account secured under my authorization only, in my own name. That night, I taped Rowan's letter above the fireplace and watched the snow erase their tire tracks. I hadn't abandoned a family, I'd escaped a machine, and I was done being its fuel.